We were doing long distance, and I was, you know, playing the field. I was wherever my heart desired. And do I regret that? Absolutely.
Sorry, this guy fully said wherever my heart desired. So when he was out here cheating multiple times with different women, he was going where his heart desired. I've never heard cheating that involves heart desired, unless it's an affair, different kind of conversation. But he needs to recognize that he wasn't following his heart. He was following the little pecker in his pants. That's exactly what he was doing. But anyway, let's continue with Micah's breakdown of exactly what put him in the position to be a cheater, a serial cheater for that matter.
I treated Veronica when I first moved down here.
He resented me.
I resented her for a while. I thought I wanted to move back to California. You know, I would go out of town and I would meet up with other girls.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, if you felt like, well, obviously he did, obviously him feeling the fact that he resented Veronica at the time purely because he didn't want to move, then why did you decide to move? Why did you agree to it, you know? He could have easily, you know, taken the option of saying, listen, I don't want to move, so maybe this is the end of the road of our relationship. But instead of doing that, he said, you know what, I'm still going to keep you around, but in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy my royal oats. But at the same time, I also question, though, did the cheating start after, you know, she moved? And obviously he was waiting to move and follow her there. Like, when did it start? Was it before that? Because it sounds to me that he may have even been cheating to her way before the move even happened, or way before the resentment even happened. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's something that we won't know. But obviously him, this is what he's saying.
He didn't want to be in a relationship. I never forced you to move here.
I know you.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like she did definitely hit the nail on the head there. You know, it was definitely a case of where he probably just didn't want to be in the relationship anymore at that time, because you know what, he may have thought that the relationship was probably on its way out. Maybe he just was afraid to leave her and he wanted her to leave him. But some people do that. Some people will self-sabotage so you leave them rather than the other way around.
You didn't. I was still doing other relationships when I lived in California. I didn't close any of the doors. I kept keeping up with other females and meeting up with them.
This guy's a comedian, damn man. Like, crazy work. He really was strung up on all these other women. You know what? The question is though. Obviously, he was out there playing the food with all these other women. But why did he not ever think? You know what? I don't want to be a Veronica no more. And maybe I want to be with somebody else. I wonder what these other women didn't have that put him in a position where he didn't want to choose to be with one of them. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, why did he still have this attachment towards Veronica? You know, that is also the other question. I mean, it kind of says that maybe that she definitely has a value to him that all the other women didn't have. But either way, it doesn't make it an excuse for his behavior. Just because she has that thing that he wants or desires the most for a long-term partner, it doesn't change the fact that, of course, he was still out there playing in the field. But I always wonder sometimes, you know, what did these women not have though? Do you see what I'm saying? Because it sounds like he had a whole lot of them.
Kareem got a call from her one day. She found my work phone number and called me up.
I committed before I was ready to commit.
Sorry, that line goes hard. That line goes hard. Yo, that's crazy though, man. But I appreciate the accountability though behind that line. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy though the fact that one of the ladies actually ended up contacting her though, Veronica. I can't imagine how that would have made her feel at that moment in time. Crazy work.
When Veronica found out, I cut out every relationship with every girl.
That's the maddest part. Yeah, he only stopped what he was doing purely because Veronica found out. If she had never found out, boy, would have continued going. So it wasn't even a matter of where he said, you know what, I'm actually doing some madness here. What am I doing in my life? This isn't how I want to be. This isn't how I want Veronica to be treated. You know, so it's crazy though, because if she never found out, he could have been still doing this till this day. It just shows obviously how much he just does not respect Veronica. You know what I mean?
Veronica, have you forgiven Micah?
I've forgiven myself. Too masculine looking, or everybody was different than me. Maybe I
won't lie to you. This is a common thing though. Sometimes, you know, when somebody, especially for women, you know, when they find out their partner stepped up in them, there's a lot of women who end up self-blaming themselves, thinking, what is it that I don't have that these women do have? You know, why could he not? You know, why am I not enough? And to be fair, the woman who probably contacted her to let her know that, hey, I'm doing a madness with Micah, that woman probably wanted Micah to be hers. But because she wasn't, but because she recognized that she couldn't offer him enough to leave his girl, she thought, you know what, I'm not gonna try and ruin his other situation. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people obviously will tell you that your man's doing this with me because of, well, I mean, look at it this way. This woman one of the women that was sleeping with him, I don't believe that they thought that this man was single. They probably knew that he was unavailable, okay? But they thought, oh, maybe I can steal him off her. But then couldn't steal him off her. So therefore they thought, well, in that case, I'll try and ruin his life by telling her the situation. But obviously in the situation itself, you probably got two women looking at themselves thinking, but what is it about me that made you not want to have me and me only? Do you see what I'm saying? There's levels to this, you know, a whole infidelity type stuff.
And why didn't you leave him?
I love the bad days too. I
mean, listen, at the end of the day, this is why Tina Turner once said in her song, "What's love gotta do? Gotta do with it." And also, people forget, love is a choice. It's not an emotion. It's a choice, okay? All right? Remember, that's why there is conditional love and unconditional love. We choose who we love based on whatever they bring to us in our lives, you see what I'm saying? And that's when we understand that our love for that person can either be based on certain conditions, or if it's the case we actually just, everything about this person is just makes me feel whole, then obviously it's unconditional, right? You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, she may still choose to love him, but she's also still choosing to hurt her own emotions. But that's a burden for herself or whatever, do you know what I mean? Well, let me know exactly what you're thinking in the comment section though, folks. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, Veronica really and truly at this point should just leave. And going back to the video that I made prior to this, obviously everything else that went down in the most recent episode, it is clear to me that Veronica is obviously now starting to hold resentment of her own, because obviously the family she doesn't get along with Mariah or Barry, which obviously becomes a conflict of her with other family members, I can imagine. You know, there's a lot of cards not playing in her favor when it comes to being with Micah and also being around his family. So much to the point that she just doesn't want to know the family at this point. So she really needs to look in the mirror and ask herself, okay, is this relationship worth it? I'm in a relationship with a man that cheated on me multiple times with many women. He would have never stopped it unless I found out. And also on top of that, I don't get along with the sister no more because of what went down. Don't get along with the father because, you know, he backed the sister and obviously, you know, lied on my name or whatever. You know, so she has got to look at the variables. But to be honest with you, the thing that matters the most is that this man cheated on you to the point where you blamed yourself. No one should be in a relationship with somebody nobody should be in a relationship that makes you feel like it was your fault that they did you wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? Which is probably why she's struggling so much with this whole Mariah and Barry situation, because she's like, well, these two lied on my name. You know, they're trying to make me look like I'm in the wrong when I feel like I was never in the wrong. Meanwhile, in her relationship with Mike over here, it's the same kind of feeling. Like, why am I feeling like as if I was actually in the wrong for him doing this to me? But the reality is the accountable part is that she's doing this to herself because she's still sticking around. Anyone with a brain cell would have run away by now. But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.